And when we got to Turkey, I was delayed for more than 2 hours. And I had to go through their immigration to do my checks before I even go to my boarding gate. By the time I was done with my check-in, and Turkey, the airport is very big. So I'm like, where am I? Where do I need to go to? I was just looking on the boards. And by the time I got to my gate, the flight had left. So yes, I missed my flight.
It looks so magnificent.
Yeah,
Right
we
on
are
Carlton Hill. Oh my
Carlton Hill.
God.
Hello, lovely viewers. Welcome to my channel. My name is Isaac Edupobi, a senior support worker currently living in the UK. If today is your first time visiting my channel, I say a very big thank you. And if you've not yet subscribed to the channel, I would plead with you to subscribe, like, share, and turn your push notification button on so that whenever I send a video, YouTube will recommend this video to you. Thank you very much, and let's get into the video. Now, in 2019, when I planned coming to the UK to do my master's degree, there were some things that I didn't know, or there was some information that I wasn't privy to, and as a result of that, it made my life a bit stressful. And in this video, I'll talk about things to do or to avoid when you plan moving from Africa or Asia or wherever part of the world you are to the UK to study or either to work. So the first thing I want to focus on has to do with my itinerary. Now, this video is not meant to spoil any brand or whatsoever, but it's solely an experience I had. And I think that it was also a mistake on my part, which I believe that the mistake could have been avoided. But because it was my first time traveling, I learned my lessons and I just moved on. So I came to the UK with Turkish Airlines, and it was a transit. So I was supposed to do a transit in Turkey. Then from Turkey, I moved to the UK. But silly me, what I did was I wanted a cheap flight, yes, because I wanted to cut down on cost. And the connecting flight from Turkey to Edinburgh was just 2 hours, 30 minutes. I felt that, well, airlines would always be on time, so there wasn't any issue with it. So I went on to book my tickets. I had my flight itinerary, and I was ready to travel. When I go to Kotoka International Airport, that's the airport, the biggest airport we have in Ghana. So when I go to Kotoka International Airport, I was waiting for the flight to go to Turkey. Trust me, I stood at the airport for about an hour and 30 minutes, and the flight hadn't shown up, only to be told that there was some delay of the flight, and as a result of that, we'll be delayed for about 2 hours. I'm like, okay, if that's the case, we'll just wait. At that point, I was just praying that I don't miss my flight because I was having that feeling already. So what happened was the flight delayed. I got to Turkey, and when we got to Turkey, I was delayed for more than 2 hours, and I had to go through their immigration to do my checks before I even go to my boarding gate. By the time I was done with my check-in, and Turkey, the airport is very big. So I'm like, where am I? Where do I need to go to? I was just looking on the boards. And by the time I got to my gate, the flight had left. So yes, I missed my flight. And all this while, the person who was supposed to meet me in Edinburgh and take me to my accommodation was waiting and waiting and waiting. And there were no signs of myself. So please don't do this mistake. If you are planning on traveling and you want to take connecting flights, make sure that there is a gap, a huge gap, be it 4 hours, 5 hours, or even Yeah, 4 or 5 hours should be okay because you don't know what will happen. There could be situations or circumstances that you can't control, just like what I experienced, and I wouldn't want you to go through that, especially being a first time traveler who is coming abroad. And I think that we also learn from my experience. I know people have also gone through similar experiences, but please, when you are coming, make sure that the flight that you come with, if it's a connecting flight, there's gap, a huge gap, which in case any emergency occurs, you will still reach your destination in time. The second thing that I would also want to focus on is with respect to the packaging and the things you bring on board. That's with your luggage. You know, most airlines will tell you that the your luggage shouldn't exceed either 20 kg or 25 kg, and mostly we try to work around that number. But you know what? When I was traveling to UK, the joy alone, trust me, the euphoria you can imagine, your first time traveling, it's like a dream come true. I packed a lot of things. I almost emptied my wardrobe in Ghana. And when I got to check in, they were like, you've exceeded luggage. And as a result of that, I ended up paying extra amount of money. I could have saved about £80 of money and use it for something else when I come to the UK. But because of what I did, silly me, I ended up paying about 80 pounds for extra luggage. And the thing is, most of the things that I actually brought on board, I could have gotten those things in the UK even at a cheaper price. But because I didn't know, I packed a lot of things. Imagine having about 4 winter jackets in your luggage. That alone can weigh about five, five or two or between 2 to 5 kg, depending on how heavy it is. So please, when you are coming to the UK, if it's in the winter or if it's in the fall, that's in September, you can just bring one jacket into the flight and then maybe one jacket in your luggage, or probably you can just bring one and then when you get to the UK, you can get some from charity shops at a cheaper price. I will make a video on that very soon. So yeah, make sure that you don't pack a lot of things. If possible, try and get a weighing machine, weigh your luggage before setting off to the airport for your check-in to avoid these costs. The next thing that you should also bear in mind is to have some cash in hand. Yes, have some cash in hand. If you are coming from Ghana, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Zambia, make sure that you have some pounds on you. Why am I saying this? Because here in the UK, we are contactless. So we use credit and debit cards a lot. And even if you want to buy anything in the UK by cash, you would need pounds. So make sure you're able to change some few cedis into pounds and have it on you. So that in case you get on the bus and you need to pay by cash, you are able to do that. Or if you want to buy something from the shop, if you get to the UK, you are able to do that and it will save you a lot of hassle. The next thing that you should also bear in mind when coming to the UK is your intention of coming. Why am I saying this, or what do I mean by intention of coming to the UK? When I was coming to the UK in 2019, I was coming to study as an international student at the University of Edinburgh. Now, when I got to the border, the border force, the immigration officer asked me, "What are your intentions in the UK?" I told the lady that I am coming to do a master's program, and the next thing was, "When is the start date and the end date of your program?" Well, I had already memorized everything in my head. So I just told her, well, my program is starting on the 9th of September and it will be finishing on the 31st of August. Everything was there. And she was like, have you paid your fees? I'm like, it's a fully funded scholarship. I showed her the scholarship letter and that was it. She was like, welcome to the UK and enjoy your stay. So, my dear viewers, if you are coming here to study, make sure that you know the course you are coming to study and the duration, the start and the end dates of your program. And if you've not paid your fees in full, or if you've not paid your fees, make sure that you have a reasonable explanation to give them. Probably you might not meet, you don't know who you meet at the border force. Probably you might meet someone who will not ask you all these questions. But just in case you are being asked these questions, please be ready to provide them a valid response. If not, you could end up not being allowed entry into the UK. So please bear that in mind. If you are coming to work as well, make sure that you know the work that you're coming to do, the occupation code that your workforce under, and who your employers are, because they might ask all these questions. The next thing I want to talk about is accommodation. Yes, when you plan to come to the UK to study, the question you should be asking yourself is, where would you be staying if you get into the country? If you have any relatives or friends in the country who can accommodate you for the first couple of weeks, it is fine. But if you know you don't have anyone in the UK and it's your first time coming to the UK, please make sure that you book an Airbnb or a hotel. I'll make a video on how to find accommodation in the UK as an immigrant or international student. But please make sure that you know someone that you're coming to stay with, or you have a plan B. Why am I saying that? I had an experience in Nottingham whereby one guy from Africa, according to him, he said he had booked for the Airbnb and paid for it, but I think he didn't reserve it. And as a result of that, he couldn't get the place. Now, when he got to this hostel, the manager was like, "We don't have your name in our system. And as a result, we can't give you a place to stay because the place was full." And I felt really bad for this guy because he had a lot of luggage with him, a lot of about 4 bags, and you could see that he has had a long journey from wherever he came from. And being told that there's no room can be very, very frustrating. And the sad part was the man, because he was also putting pressure on the man and kind of arguing with this manager. The manager was like, he has to leave the premises or the police was going to be called. So this guy had to pack his bag and just leave. And whilst he was going, the question that was running through my mind was, where is this guy going? What is he going to do? Does he even know anyone in the UK? So please, if you are coming to the UK, please make sure that you are aware of where you are going to stay, or you know that you have someone who will be accommodating you, even if it's for 2 or 3 weeks, because it is not easy to find accommodation in the UK, just in case. Don't say that, oh, when I get to the UK, I'll find a place. It's easy. Trust me, you can have money, all right, but trying to get a place can be tough. So make sure that even if it's an Airbnb for 2 weeks that you book, make sure you book it and secure an accommodation before traveling. So basically, these are the things that you should do when traveling to the UK as an immigrant, whether to study or to work. I believe this video has been very educative, informative, and enlightening. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you've been with me up to this point, I say thank you and I really appreciate it. So this is the end of the video. And as I said earlier on, if today is your first time watching this video, I'd want you to like, share, subscribe, and turn your notification button on so that when I share a video, YouTube will recommend the video to you. Thank you once again, and I'll see you in my next video, which promises to be very exciting. Thank you very much for your audience. It is your man, Isaac Edu Pobi. Until then, see you in my next video. Shalom. God bless. Bye-bye.